Hi guys, me again. Today we're going to be looking at something that's really easy, if not a little bit tedious, and that is placing our speech bubbles within the episode portal. So grab your computers, grab your coffee, you know I have mine, and let's get started. So speech bubble placement is fairly easy to do. You do it before the character speaks, and then you reset the speech bubble right at the end of their dialogue. I'll show you how Episode kind of does it on their own, but the only way they really do it is if you're set to about 100% zoom and your characters are a certain distance apart. So in this little clip you can see these two characters, which are myself and my husband, are talking to each other, and the speech bubbles are going, for the most part, where they should be. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to have my character stand and my husband's character sitting down, same conversation, zoomed in towards the back of the room. And now you can see that the speech bubbles are a little bit off. So the speech bubbles are going in front of my husband's face. And when he talks, it's going above his head. And that's not what you want when you're reading a story. So speech bubbles can go, their tails can go in 4 different directions. So you have tail top right, tail top left, tail bottom right, and tail bottom left. And they're really simple to do. So all you do is before the character speaks, you put in @speech bubble is, put in the coordinates, and then to 100%. I use 100% almost all the time. The only reason I ever make it a little bit smaller is if the character is mumbling or whispering, and the lowest I ever go is 80%, and that is because of readability issues. I think you go any smaller than that and it's just too small to read. So we do to 100%, and then with tail top right or tail top left. I use top probably 90% of the time, mostly because it's not super natural to have the tail going to the bottom, but there are some instances where it works really well. So now that I've adjusted the speech bubbles in this scene, you can see that all the speech bubbles are going in the right direction. Nothing's going over anybody's face, and nothing's coming out of anyone's, crotch or anything. Happens so many times in stories. I don't understand how people don't see it. This is something I always do at the end of a story when I'm done doing all my other directing. So once all the zooms are done, all of the other background character movements are done, because that can throw off where the speech bubbles go, or if you have someone crossing in front of your characters, that'll drop your speech bubbles down or lift them up. They kind of get a mind of their own when you have more advanced directing going on in the background. So make sure before you publish your story, you just do a quick run through to figure out where all your speech bubbles should go. Sometimes they'll be in the right place, sometimes they won't. So some you'll have to adjust, some you won't. It's a fairly easy copy and paste job. Once you find in one scene where one character is speaking, if they're staying in the same place for the whole scene, you can just copy and paste it throughout the scene. You just make sure you hit that speech bubble reset at the end of every single dialogue, because otherwise it'll just keep pointing in the same direction. The times when I would use the tail bottom right or left is if I have a character that is speaking off screen. So if your character overhears something or is being called to from somewhere that's off screen, it's always good to have that tail going to the bottom so you know it's coming from off screen somewhere. At this point, I also make the speech bubble a bit bigger. And again, the biggest I ever go is about 130%. Otherwise, it becomes a little bit too big for the screen and it doesn't look quite proportional. I also make sure the speech bubble is right at the bottom of the screen. And within the guide box still, check out my guide box tutorial if you haven't yet, but keep it within the guide box and keep it centered on the screen so you know, and the tail will point in the direction that the speech is coming from anyway, so you don't need to adjust that otherwise. That's just a personal opinion. You can do whatever you want, but that's the way I do it anyway. So that's it for speech bubbles. Super easy, a little bit tedious, but totally worth it in your story. It's something that people notice. If there's a speech bubble in the wrong place, people notice it, and they will call you out on it too. So it's good to just do it right the first time. I hope you like this video. If it was helpful for you, I'd love you to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. That would be great too. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a message in the comments below, or you can hit me up over on my Instagram page, which is @LHEpisode, or on my Facebook page, which is Lauren on Episode, just like this channel. And hopefully I will see you next time. Okay, thanks. Bye.